Hello everyone, welcome to ETRetail. We have Mr. Arvind Mediratta, MD and CEO of Metro Cash and Carry India. Hello sir, thank you so much for joining us at ETRetail post-budget analysis. What's your first reaction to the union budget? Is it up to the expectations of the retail industry?
I will say it's a great budget. You know, if I have to use some words which have been used in the past, I will say that it's a dream budget. It's a budget which caters to almost all the sections of the society. There is something for farmers. There is something for the youth. There is something for the MSME. There's something for, the large companies, people who are pushing for green and sustainable growth. And also for the middle class, which has been ignored in the past 4 or 5 budgets. So I think it's a dream budget. It caters to all the constituents. It's a very pro-growth budget, and the numbers are highly credible. The other thing is, the data which the honorable finance minister had shared, stated very clearly that the deficit is about 5.9% of GDP. So it's also a very disciplined budget is what I can say.
Okay. So talking about the middle class, there have been revisions in the tax regime which have been welcomed very open-heartedly. Do you believe that will boost consumption, especially in the under pressure rural sector?
Absolutely. I think there are a lot of incentives for the rural sector, and there's also a lot of incentive for the first time relief for the middle class in the last 4 years in the budget. And I strongly believe it will give a big boost to consumption across all the sectors. Also, if you see, I was reading some of the news articles and looking at some of the news flashes on television channels while the honorable finance minister was presenting the budget. The prices of some of the things like televisions, etc., is also expected to come down. So there has been a duty reduction in case of many categories. Yes, of course, cigarettes become more expensive. But if you look at overall for the middle class, I think they have got what they wanted. There has been increase in the minimum, what is it called? The standard deduction has gone up, up to 7 lakhs. You don't have to pay any taxes. The slab rates have been moderated, right? There's incentive for women. There's incentive for retired people, right? Even on the EPFO withdrawal, the TDS has been brought down. So I think it's a great budget. And it will certainly give a big boost to the economy. It was reflected in the stock market. At one point of time, the stock market, the Sensex had gone up by almost 1,200 points. So I believe it's a great budget, and it will give a big boost to the overall investor sentiment. There's also a 35% increase in capex, right, from the government side. So that also is a big step. It will lead to creation of more jobs. It will, the Make in India movement, the Atmanirbhar movement, it also gets a boost. So you don't have to look at the budget in isolation. We also have to look at the ongoing PLI schemes and other incentives which have been rolled out in the manufacturing sector. So looking at all that, I will say it's a fantastic budget. If I have to rank it or rate it, I will say 9 on 10, maybe 10 on 10.
Wonderful. Just one last question, sir. Rupees 9,000 crore corpus on the credit scheme for MSMEs announced. How big this announcement is for the small business segment in the country?
I think it's a very significant step forward. Yes, there are critics who will always argue that the amount or allocation should have been higher. But you have to again look at what has been rolled out for the MSME sector in the last several years, because every budget there is something for them. So this is an additional infusion of 9,000 crore. And I personally think it will help them recover from the pandemic. It will give a boost and I will say a big impetus to the vitality of the MSME sector. Also, if you're paying attention to the fine line while the finance minister was presenting her speech, there's also an increase in, the exemptions, because she was talking about professional organizations under MSME quota. Earlier, I think the exemption was up to 50 lakhs of revenues. Now it's gone up to 75 lakhs. For small businesses with a revenue of, earlier the exemption was up to 2 crores, it's gone up to 3 crores. So if you look at all these steps put together, I will say it's a great budget and augurs very well for the growth of the Indian economy. And, rightfully under the banner of Amrit Kal, maybe it's the beginning of the Amrit Kal for the Indian economy in general. And also, there's one more thing which I want to highlight from the point of view of corporate India. I think the act of decriminalizing 3,400 legal provisions is again going to give a big fillip to the ease of doing business. because that's something which was, again, left out in the fine print, though the Honorable Finance Minister alluded to that in her speech, but it's a big step forward. 3,400 provisions which lead to criminal prosecution of people of very minor and trivial offenses, they go away. So ease of doing business is going to, again, get better, and you will see a lot of investments flowing in India.
Okay. I think that was a very fair point, sir. And yes, in the fine print, that definitely got missed, but a very welcomed budget. And thank you again for taking out time to speak to us. And it was wonderful speaking to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Thank you.